how do we deal with the fact that our parents did not love us? Yes. Now, I can tell you how I dealt with it, but you might not want to go down this way. I was actually around 7 years old. I could not have been any older because at the age of 7 we moved country, and I remember which country I was in when I said this. I was about 7 years old. I took a good look at my parents, and I realized they were both stupid. And that's when I stopped needing their love, because I thought, there's nothing I can get from them. They're both idiots. And I actually became independent at that age. Now, not financially independent, of course. That took another 5 or 6 years. But independent meaning my parents were there to pay the rent and put food on the table. And my mother was a great cook, by the way. So that's what I saw them as, nothing else. If you can take a good look at your parents and cut it out with the Hollywood bullshit, they are your parents and you should love them. You know what, honey? They had sex without a condom. That's all it is. It's biology. So if you can take a good look at them and realize how stupid they are, then you could deal with it much easier and move on. And realize that you have come to earth for you. And who the parents were don't really matter. It actually does matter because we have karma with them. Or sometimes we needed their DNA for whatever reason. So it does matter, but still you can move on. Now you might say, what if my parents are not stupid? Listen, the fact that you exist alone is proof that your parents are stupid. Intelligent people don't just breed. They ask questions. And if you did have intelligent parents, then it would not be a problem whether you were loved by them or not. Because you would be at a different... How do I say this? I don't know the word for it. You'll be at a different stage of your life. No, that's not the right word. You will be at a different level. But let's look at it this way too. If you did have intelligent parents, you might not have the experience that you have now. You might not have the richness that you have now. Because if your parents did pay you attention all the time, if they did ask you questions instead of just talk to you, if they did talk with you instead of just talk to you, you might have not become this person that you are now. So look at it from that point of view, and that way you don't get angry or sad that your parents didn't love you. Now, don't go to the extreme here and say, my parents did love me. They didn't hate me. We're not talking about love and hate. We're talking about the fact that your parents were not ready for you and you were not their first priority. They had other priorities. In most cases, our parents were still children. They had not fully grown up yet. So they were really children trying to raise other children. See the whole picture. I mean, my mother was 17 when she had me. 17! That's a child! Long before television and internet, so she knew nothing. She knew absolutely nothing. So when I think back, I'm like, I was raised by wolves. And that way you don't get angry at them. If you're going to become a parent, my first advice is don't. But if you really, really insist in becoming a parent, make sure you have enough money, not to spoil the child, to make sure that you're not working 12 hours a day to support the child. because children need a lot of attention. And if you don't have the luxury of time to give them this attention, there's no need to have a child. Really, there isn't. A lot of people are accusing parents that become parents at an older age, saying, by the time your son is 20, you'll be 70. Yes, but you know what? At that old age, you have become mature, you have lived whatever it is you wanted to live, and now you can focus all your attention on your child. So let older people have children. It's much healthier for the child. There's a very good line or paragraph in the book Conversations with God. God is telling the author, I don't remember every word now, but it's something like, let young people enjoy their sex life, and if they have children, let the grandparents raise the children, because they have much more wisdom anyway. Also, grandparents rarely judge their grandchildren. So they will become more balanced individuals as they grow up. But back to the question, how do we deal with the fact that our parents did not love us? I would say look around you and see that you're not the only one, that it's a part of earth life. Some people call life on earth a cruel joke. That is not too far from the truth. Yes, it has given our soul massive experiences. But yes, sometimes when you look at life on earth, it is a cruel joke. So see it as part of life, and it will be easier for you to move on. But you will need to move on, baby. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck. My parents had 7 children. Don't ask me why. Anyway, they had 7 children. 4 of us have moved on, but 3 of us got stuck because they couldn't understand why they weren't loved. They were taken care of because my dad had money, but that isn't love. They couldn't understand why there was no affection in the family from the parents. And there were just orders. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. They weren't violent. We never got hit. I remember I was slapped only once in my life. And that's because I made a lot of noise, so, So, it wasn't like we lived in a violent household or an alcoholic household. From outside, the household seemed perfectly normal and very happy. But back to my 3 siblings that did not move on, and the other 4 sometimes will talk about it, and will mention how their whole life has stagnated, and they can't become successful in their lives or happy in their lives simply because they have not moved on from the fact that mum and dad did not give us the attention we would have liked or the affection we would have liked. So don't get stuck. Move on. Well, you are already stuck, but now try and get unstuck. Say something to yourself like, you know what, this happens to most people. I've learned from it. Let me move on now. Don't judge it. Don't say, I don't want to stay here anymore. Never mention the negative. Simply, let me move on now. And that way your soul will bring you the opportunities for you to move on. And you'll be able to get on with your life. I think that's all I have for now.